The hull of a boat is designed like an axe head. Dark and undisturbed, the water is cloven in twain. The front of the ship, swift, overlooks clear water. A gap is smoothly made as the ship surges forth. Behind, the gap is filled as the ship departs. The pale froth churns, full of eddies. The bilgewater, a smuggling ship, cuts with a chef's precision. Your wake is dark and quiet, but your path is cautious. Your nemesis is a sailor, like a berserker screaming. Their wake foams like a rabid dog. Their disturbing turbulence is hazardous. Welcome to Bloodwine.
Hello.
Hey!
Hello. How's it
Hello.
going? Wow.
It's pretty alright. I think we skipped like 2 weeks, so it's weirdly
Yeah.
disorienting to be like, oh, I guess that's all of October.
Yep.
There it
Whoops.
goes.
We
Wow.
missed the spooks.
Well, not yet.
Not
Not
yet.
yet.
Not
yet,
This
that's
is time for
The
spooks.
spooks are this
Yeah.
weekend.
Yeah.
That's true. Damn it, I forgot to take out my pumpkin.
Also, the spooks are right now.
The spooks are
The spooks are right now. Because when last we met, if I remember correctly, you were in the city of Newtown. You had just managed to offload some hot cargo, as well as the last year mail, so you have an empty hold. Does it make sense to say that it's like noon? Or like
Sure.
early morning the
Sure.
next day?
I'm
Would you guys
always
want it to
down to
be
say that
nighttime?
it's high noon.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Alright. So you've made some decisions, you've offloaded everything, and made your way out from port. If I remember correctly, you guys made a decision to take care of a little problem that's been on your heels for a while.
He keeps attacking us,
Yep.
and it's just gonna get worse.
And worse.
Yeah. And at some point, he'll attack and Bilgy and I won't be able to handle it. So it's better to just nip that in the bud.
Yeah. Hey, out of curiosity, because we don't ever do this on this show, and I feel like it's a fun thing to do before we get started. What did everybody's build look like?
Oh,
Good point.
My build looks very weird. Well,
okay.
Yeah.
it's very weird in the sense that it's very bottom heavy.
Mm.
It's-
So, Jane.
Like the
has-
literal bottom of the character sheet is all just like this benefit, this benefit, this benefit, this drawback, this drawback.
yeah,
this drawback.
like okay, to look at it, there's like nothing up here, and every detail down here from like different stats, all the money I have, all of my like inventory.
Yeah.
That is an old character sheet.
Yes.
That's
I
not
am-
what mine looks like.
I intentionally printed it off on the old character sheet because I like this character sheet.
Right.
Okay.
Mine is like, okay, so mine has been like halfway across the country and back. It is covered in grease stains.
I
and-
can't believe that my game is the kind of game where people have opinions about which character sheet is better. That's
Yeah.
flattering.
So
Oh man, that thing is.
he's been around a while.
Yeah.
So my death
That
will
looks rough
modify.
as fuck, and I say that as a compliment. That's like
Yeah,
an artifact tier.
absolutely. So yeah, Sun has a death roll modifier of 5.
Same.
He has routine, unfocused, and hunger. 0 social, 0 magical, and then 10 physical. Weapon
He has
brawn. and-
routine and unfocused.
Yes.
Okay.
It means you have to do it, but you also can't heal from it.
Okay.
Like you'd feel
It literally
bad
just
if
means sucks to suck.
yeah,
Yeah.
he'd feel
There's
bad if
people
he
other-
didn't do it, but at the same time he's thinking of everything else while he does it.
Yeah.
There's a lot of sudden death combos you can pick that are valid. Like if you get the one that means that you don't heal a lot from doctoring, but also the one that makes it so that you like bleed real bad.
Yep.
Yeah, I have blind. I have sense loss 2. I have grounded. I'm grounded with warbles. Thank God nothing has ever happened to warbles. I have unfocused, potion popper, bleeder, poor mobility, and picky eater. So
Okay.
I specifically was like, I do not heal well.
Mhm.
I don't
Yeah.
heal well at all. And I want that to be the case because I want myself to just be like a glass cannon, basically.
Mhm.
Yo.
I wanted the character to be a glass cannon.
So Jane actually only has a death roll of 3.
Oh wow.
Um,
You have room to go further. You can get
Room to
closer
go-
to the razor's edge.
yeah. So there is a chance that if I roll to on my death roll, I won't immediately die like you two.
Just instantly
Uh,
perish. Yeah.
I'm physical of 6, and so 4 in weapon and 4 in smuggler. Arbalester, size up, sniper, line 'em up, and then unfocused, insomnia, and atypical.
So
Man.
you basically just sit on the deck of the ship in the middle of the night holding your crossbow going,
Nah.
Yes, but not like practicing or anything. Just like
just
being
you know,
there.
Yeah.
existing.
Mhm.
I mean, it
Yeah.
seems to work. No one raids us during the night, so.
Mhm. I have size up, but I've never really needed to use it because we're never like against like a particular foe. You know, I'm just like
Mhm.
I shoot them.
Yeah,
And then
like we're never
Yeah.
really up against like a giant rock golem like we were in the previous like session where it was like one singular massive enemy that we have no idea how much health it could possibly have.
One guy.
One guy.
Yeah, like I tend
What
I
nasty.
tend to try to get my character to a point that I want them, and then just kind of leave them there. Like I actually haven't
Yeah.
leveled up Jane like in a long time.
I haven't leveled up the NPCs since the game started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait.
I haven't leveled up Croquill for a long time. Reggie was kind of a different story though. I kept switching his abilities around.
Didn't Reggie end up like needing like triple or quadruple the daily cost to survive? Like, and it was all just like he was a divorced dude going through some shit, and he like needed the finest of cheeses and wines, and he ate a bunch because he was a fucking paladin full of armor. Like,
Mhm.
Basically, yes, and dear God, it was so expensive.
Man.
The draw on my bank account was huge.
meanwhile, Croquill.
Meanwhile, Croquill just like eats a little bit a day, makes sure to feed her bird well. Money
Just living.
everywhere.
Just living, you know.
So, is there anything you guys need to take care of before you leave Newtown? And also, is it a foregone conclusion? It's about noon. You finished some last minute business. You're coming back to the ship. What's everybody's page on for this?
We gotta kill him. We gotta. We most certainly have to. There's like no other response
Jane has nothing against killing him.
to it.
I also have nothing against killing him. However, I can think of several ways that would leave him alive and have him not come after us.
As a warning.
Well, not really as a warning. For instance, he keeps cursing us by following his pure hatred towards us.
Mhm.
Uh-huh.
So what if we just made it so that he can't hate anymore?
What?
That would be like that would take time to set up though, wouldn't it?
Turn him
That's
into a
That'd be
true.
worse.
Murder would definitely be the faster option.
Yeah, it's gotta be murder though, don't it?
Yeah.
Like,
But it would be more interesting if we were to create a person that could only that could not feel hate. You know?
Right?
Like
Like,
some
it's-
Avatar: The Last Airbender stuff?
Yeah.
this is like one of my plans, and now that I'm on the receiving end of it, man, this
You don't like it?
sucks.
Okay.
I don't like
so,
it.
son, you're gonna need to build like 3 bombs pretty big. We're gonna use those as a distraction. Then Jane is gonna
Mhm.
make sure that Jane's gonna be basically the doorman, making sure that no one comes in, interrupting Bilgy and I, while we conduct a ritual to curse this dude to no longer have emotions until he can understand and acknowledge his hatred towards us as irrational.
So, Dr. Phil.
Yes.
You need
Yes.
Dr. Phil.
We need Dr. Phil.
Oh
we
my
need
God.
we need to
Could
take
we
him to the
curse this
ranch.
guy? Could we curse this guy in such a way that we take away all his negative emotions?
Will, would I actually know anything about that? Because I've been talking on my ass this entire time.
That's some like Ludovico technique stuff. Like you can do it, but you basically need to like strap this guy down in a dungeon and do like daily psychological invasive rituals. It's it's some shady shit. It is significantly easier to just
Yeah.
This is true.
That's true.
once more for good measure.
Yeah. You know the double tap?
Yeah, you
As
always
they
gotta
say in
get the double
Zombieland.
tap.
Hmm.
And if they're going down, you come back and you're like a rule of threes.
Yeah. But yeah, if we're gonna have to, if this is gonna be a
It was
multiple day
courageous.
process, then maybe not. If I was thinking of like, we could prepare it ahead of time and then just kind of slap it on him, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like a nicotine patch, just kind of boom, emotion
Yeah.
be gone.
So where are you guys docked right now?
I don't remember.
Newtown.
Newtown?
Newtown.
Well, that's the city. Are you guys just at the Rookery right now? Or did you
No, I
park, like,
believe
in the
I believe
general-
we parked at a regular one because Son wanted to
Yeah.
do some shopping,
Mhm.
and like we wanted to do some exploration.
I would like to buy a
Yes.
pumpkin.
Okay.
So you guys are sitting there, like getting everything ready, getting all the last like barrels in there. Bilgy is getting some more fresh water and salt pork and stuff like that. And you see like you see Jane come back just like with a pumpkin.
I have a
That'll be-
small sword. I would like to carve the pumpkin.
Okay, this is going to be a 5 copper pumpkin because it is a food ingredient. Pumpkins aren't that expensive in real life, especially like medieval cooking pumpkins.
And I mean, I imagine Rookers being like, "Oh, so you're carving that? What are you doing with the innards? I could use those."
Yeah, I'll give the innards to Rooker. But I want to carve it and put it somewhere.
Chelsea literally only carves pumpkins to eat the delicious roasted seeds inside.
Yes, that's true.
I respect that. Especially like, what was it? This one time I had like pumpkin seeds that were like honey roasted.
Ooh.
It was an interesting combo. It worked really good. It worked really good.
Okay, yeah, I see that.
So-
Yeah.
As you're having this discussion, Rutger kind of looks at the pumpkin and he goes, "Oh, I bought produce. I don't."
Yes, no, this is not for eating necessarily. This is for decoration.
Oh, does that fit in the apparatus?
No.
Although, if we were to suddenly
Although-
take the covers off the apparatus and like the end of the cannon was just like a pumpkin skull mask, that would be pretty sick.
The pumpkin would rot though over time.
This
Like,
is
you wouldn't
true.
be able to have it for very long.
Yeah.
Especially with all the sea salt that's inevitably going to hit it.
You know, maybe
gonna
it'll
be a
preserve
salty
down
plum.
into.
Yeah.
So as you're doing the last of your prep and rising up the gangplank, getting ready to leave, you're in kind of like the general boat parking. So these are long marina piers. There's a couple of different ones that are offset. It's sorted by size, so there's like big ships that are at the end, and then on the inside, in little kind of bays, is where you're parked. There's a couple of ships that are coming in, merchant ships that were traveling in convoy. You can see the same sails. There's a conversation going on in Torgish right now. Does anybody speak Torgish?
There's no way in hell I speak Torgish.
No.
So I imagine maybe Kenanye?
Ken and he is below decks right now.
Yeah. Well,
Get him above decks!
it's just like Excuse me? Speak traitor tongue when you're talking to yourself. Some people can't eavesdrop.
That would be a lot funnier if there weren't people like that in the world.
What do you think I was basing it off of?
So you look over and you see them like talking to each other hurriedly. They seem to recognize someone who's come to meet them with like a wagon, and they start talking really exaggerated. You can hear them switch to odds or evens.
Odds. Damn you.
Oh.
Evens. Oh, that's on the ground. I'm just gonna pick up a different die. Deal with that later. All right. You overhear the conversation in Westron. They're
Okay.
talking about a fleet of ships that were coming from New Far Market.
New farm market, you say?
You see big gestures. The guy's talking numbers, like he's like, "Oh, the way it is in Westron, it's like old timey a little bit." So he's like, "Oh, 3 score, 6 score, maybe even 8 score." You know.
Okay. That's a lot, I'm assuming. Yeah. Mildly concerning.
Are we wanted in New Farm Market?
We're wanted everywhere.
Yeah, we're pretty
I would say yes, because we keep fucking up their ships.
Yeah.
Oh, is that under Imperial, like,
Yeah.
Imperial control? Okay.
It's like one of the southernmost islands in the Empire.
Mhm.
Other than
Okay, so there
Bloodwine.
is. So there's the Estron Empire, which is like all in the east. It goes from East Landing, the capital, way to the north, way to the south along the whole coast, and they're expanding into the islands. New Far Market is their last port, and then Redwine Keep is like human and elf born run.
Oh, okay.
Those are like a couple of cities that are a couple of different shattered kingdoms that used to be the human empire. Both follow concerningly similar
Right.
like legalistic formats.
Okay.
One of them's just a little bit less,
Racist?
like that. Yeah,
Genocidal?
yeah. There's a lot of adjectives that can be thrown at them. So, you guys ready to go?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all loaded up on everything that I need to craft.
What are the scry wards like on the ship?
I have been booning and like setting them up every single time, like basically daily, refreshing them. So they are a level 34 ward, and I believe. No,
Okay,
I don't have what Bilgy had on there.
You take a hit of 21.
Motherfucker! Like, genuinely, all you hear is motherfucker, and then I start going back into there to, like, repel it. Not like
all right?
not like repel, I'm immediately jumping to their side. I'm not doing this defensive bullshit. Bilgy's on defensive.
Okay, so you're trying to back channel, right?
Mm-hmm.
Give me a roll for that.
This is ritual, right?
Mm.
Okay. That one was actually a good roll. That's plus 10, that's 15, 19, 23, and 27.
27. You counter scry and get a really firm hold. From here, you can see your foe. You're not even sure if you know what this guy's actual name is.
I mean, he was a
Rook-
rooker, so we wouldn't have really
Yeah.
gotten the information, yeah.
He went by Rooker Mariner, like a white furred rat folk wearing kind of like sackcloth, with a bunch of like witchy trinkets and stuff like that. So what you sense through the scry is there's a boat. It's the same boat that he was living under that was refurbished. He's not driving it. There's a couple of other people there that are wearing similar garb. Not all like rat folk or anything, just like random travelers, some beast folk, some torgs, some humans. The ship isn't alone though. There's a wide swath of mismatched ships. You can see paint and like boards on sticks being stored underneath.
Okay.
Wait a minute. Large amount of ships are about approximately 6. How many?
You can't get a good idea of the number. It's more than 10.
More than 10.
More than 10. Okay, that's going to be interesting.
Okay, so we can't take on 10 ships at once.
And they're not like Imperial. They're like hodgepodge, roughly painted. Yeah. All right, so he doesn't have Imperial on his side.
Yeah, and these aren't like a fleet of raggedy ships that wear the same colors. These are just people's boats.
Yeah. What would be the general, like, if I were to look at this boat, would I be intimidated by it if it was to go one-on-one with the Bilgewater?
It is deeply rickety.
Okay, so they're 10 rickety-ass boats.
More than 10.
More than 10
Your
rickety-ass
scry closes
boats.
off.
Okay, so he's not... Okay, so it's not an attack. He was just trying to scry to see where we are. The wards are holding no. He's on his way with 10 more than 10 rickety ass boats. I'm assuming on his way to us.
On his way to us. Okay. Interesting.
Yeah.
In that
Well,
case, you guys are able to flip open the map. Which way are you heading? It is lunchtime.
yeah, let's take a look at that map there.
The wind is going to the northwest.
Hypothetically,
Sorry, the west, not the northwest.
Hypothetically, if a bunch of adventurers wanted to, I don't know, have a couple extra hands to help defeat a foe, there wouldn't be like a nearby location that would be home to a bunch of mages, eh?
What are you getting at?
No, nothing.
He wants to hire some mages, so we
Yeah.
need like an academy.
Is there a mage academy nearby where there's a bunch of new grads looking to pad their resume with murder?
You guys have undocked from Newtown. Most cities will have some kind of mages. Like, large
Yeah.
cities tend to have mages colleges, but usually they're like trainees. It's not like they're out for hire.
Okay.
You can put up a job posting on like a board, or you could turn back, dock somewhere, and then just try to find people off the street to come and help you gank a dude. Like,
No, I was looking for like an institution of both murder and magic, which that's pretty well in between what is reasonable, I think.
Adventure. Just a ragtag group of magic adventurers.
Yeah.
So you're looking for someone to get a job done for you, or you're looking to send someone somewhere to do this for you.
Oh, I was thinking like while we're moving and grooving, if we're gonna be constantly under attack, it would, like hiring somebody as like a temporary ward security person, so that Bilgy and Crowquill can focus on like tracking the guy down. But,
Feeling Procruel would be like insulted by this.
yeah, which is why I wanted to find like an academy.
Like, Sun is just gonna nonchalantly be like, "Hey, let me introduce you to a buddy of mine, who is going to be joining us on the ship for no apparent reason."
No, it'd be worse than that. It's here's your new coworker. You're gonna have to train him in the ins and outs of everything works. and
Yeah.
I don't know anything about your job, so I didn't vet him in any way.
I'll just be like, okay, so do you know anything about ritual? Actually, I'm more of an alchemical brewer.
Yeah. I run an alchemical microbrewery. Yeah, no. Okay, so scratch that.
I will say, um, you guys are astute when it comes to knowing you're doing crimes. Looking for someone to help you as like an accessory to murder is a crime.
Right, which I'm not asking him to. He wouldn't be an accessory to murder. He would be like
Okay,
he'd be keeping a ship safe from wards.
When
You
have
know.
we ever been like, oh no, a crime? Better not do it.
Yeah, but we're
You know?
looking
Okay,
we're looking
let's
for other
let's
people
move
who
with
are
this.
like, "Oh no, a crime."
You're looking to grab some rando off the docks.
No, I don't think we're actually trying to do that, are we?
No. If you were going to say, oh yeah, it just so happens that the mage college is just down the road, and they love it when adventurers come and ask for help killing a guy, I would be like, man, serendipitous. But
No, like you might be able to ask strangers at the end of a pier for about 5 minutes before a guard shows up, having been told by like 6 of those strangers that there's someone asking for help for like a shady deal they won't go into
Yeah.
detail about.
Yeah.
yeah,
Well,
You would have to know who this person is before asking them to do something like this.
Hmm.
yeah,
there were some people that could potentially help us. There was that one crew that helped us break the Soth blockade the first time we went through.
no,
We don't need help on this. We
you
don't
don't
need
need.
help.
Okay, no help. I would remind us that we have about 18 gold's worth of sugar in the hold still.
Right.
We can fire
Um,
sugar at them, or we can pay them off with sugar.
Both bad options.
Is Newtown like a good spot to sell sugar?
I think that we had
Oh.
established it wasn't, because otherwise we would have sold it there.
I think we were talking, the guy who sold cocaine to said to just like sell it in the square and leave if any guards came. But-
Yeah, I think we hang on to it and sort of sail further away from Soth, and then it'll be more valuable. Like,
Okay, fair enough.
You
Yeah,
know.
let's do that.
Okay. So which way you headed? The wind's going west.
West.
oh,
Problem with that. We're kind of as west as we can get. Okay, we're going back to Newtown.
You're harshing my vibe.
well, in that case, hang on. So a bunch of, yeah, no, that's not very helpful. I think that we should go north.
Okay.
All right.
We'll have
You-
to go like a northeast, but
So the wind's going west and you're going north, so you're able to kind of like catch it at a 45-degree angle and get a good bit of wind going. You make it 3.5 squares northward. It is the early afternoon as you guys are kind of sailing along. You're staying close to the coast. This area here is called the Stormy Sea for a reason. You can see that there's these kind of clumps of storms coming and going. The land kind of funnels all of the weather patterns together, and there's a crack to the north of here and to the south of here, so it creates kind of just a hell zone. To the north of you and south of you is coast. To the west of you is just like the land, and to the east of you is nothing but storms.
Yeah, so what I'm thinking is we hang tight to the coast and just sail up here and just see if we can't recognize those ships you saw when you were scrying.
wait, where's New Farm Market?
It's south.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
we
I thought it
wouldn't-
was north.
No, New Farm Market is south. In our previous campaign, we were trying to get to New Farm Market, and we had to go south from Delta. And Delta is like, I don't know, a little bit further north of us.
You're right. Oh,
It's
you're right.
like
Oh, Delta.
Delta's right here. New Farm Market is
Right.
like right here.
I forgot that we were trying to get to New Farm Market because I thought, oh yes, New Farm Market, previous campaign is north.
Right.
Forgetting that we basically went everywhere in the previous campaign. Like,
Yes.
let's recap. We went like here, all the way down into here, then all the way the fuck down over here. A
Yeah.
little bit over here for a little while, then down to like here. Tried to go over here, had to cut all the way across here before looping all the way back the fuck up here.
I'm sorry, okay?
There was even like a montage point where you guys like wandered through a desert. Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
There could be deserts in the north.
you hid out in the Ring Mountains and hunted down a serial killer. Like,
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
It's fair to say north though for the previous campaign. We spent a lot of the time in the north.
Yeah.
Good.
it really did. So, well, you also started and ended it there.
Yeah.
So you guys have been traveling for about 2 hours looking to see if like the ships have made it this far. They haven't, and there haven't been any additional scry attempts on you.
Well, I'm going to be resetting the barrier on that one, and I'm just gonna keep my ritual up on that, maintain it.
All right.
The wind is going southwest now.
Okay, so is our plan actually to take on these ships head on?
No.
Okay.
No. It's like
Okay.
10 of them.
Okay.
Okay.
I think we should almost like go to West Watch, figure out where they're going, and then follow them there. Go to West Watch, sell our sugar, figure out where they're going, follow them there.
Okay.
Now this is a Gabe plan.
Okay.
Let's go to Westwatch and set up a great big sign that says "Welcome to Newtown," and just hang out there for their next scrying attempt.
And then when they scry, I allow it in and just stare at that sign and only that sign. Yeah. Yeah.
Sure.
Okay, Croquill, I want you to roll long odds in your favor.
Okay. I'm rolling odds. I rolled a 1 and a 3. Fuck yeah.
That's called scry faking. You've done it before.
Hey,
I mean,
my idea isn't stupid.
and I really like this idea because I've done it before. Means that, yeah, when I first ran away from Boru, he kept trying to scry on me, and I kept making signs of different locations. And he kept going to those locations.
So funny.
Just pissing off Boru
Okay, but-
so much.
But if you were to scry on you and you didn't have any wards up, that would be suspicious.
Naturally,
Hey,
You'd
naturally.
you'd have to purposely put up like a weak ward. You know?
That would
Well,
be
the other
very
thing
difficult
is,
for me
if the
to do.
scry doesn't succeed, they don't know where you are.
Yeah. So it's like I could have
so
the scry
if you-
up and have
if you
them
want-
possibly break it.
If you want to like succeed, you want them to succeed and see that fake sign, "Welcome to Newtown." You know, you have to purposefully put up a fake ward because if you have no ward, that'd be suspicious.
You're saying this as I'm like re-upping the ward, and I'm like, so I'm not. So I should stop protecting us.
For now, I think put up another.
Phil
strong
just, like,
ward.
Turns an ear over to listen with like a mitt full of like ash mixed with salt in one hand and like a bunch of feathers and rocks in the other. Just like, are we doing this?
Yes,
Cause,
yes,
'cause I could just stop and then focus on scrying on him all day.
Because we don't want him to scry on it. Like we don't want him to scry right now. We want to
True.
wait until we get to Westwatch
And I'm
and
like,
have that fake sign
Right.
set up.
Okay.
Yeah, because he's gonna scry on us and be like, man, yeah, that particular stretch of empty ocean full of storms sure does look like the one near Westwatch, not Newtown.
That is a good point. This area is full of storms, and they have rickety ass ships. What if we try and bait them into the storms?
Oh my god, that sounds like
Yeah, but they might not even be coming for us. What if he's just like hopping on a ship to get from one place to another? You know?
Then I can
Like he
scry on
paid somebody
him and
off.
find out when he gets off the boat.
Because how did he even afford to buy 10 ships? Like, I
How
don't
did he
get it.
afford to hire so many mages to curse us? We
Yeah,
have
like,
no
where's he getting his money
idea.
from?
Like, we need to find out where he's getting the money from, but, like, we have no idea.
okay. Well, I'm gonna raise a counterpoint.
Mhm.
You in your life right now, as you are, as you exist, if you suddenly decided, screw my entire future, I'm gonna put every single resource I have to making one person's life miserable. You could probably hire like 10 guys to come do a job pretty easily.
I feel like if I was trying to like devote all of the resources that I have in my life to making someone miserable, I would try to have that just be like long term.
Yeah.
Like just try to do it as cheaply as possible, but like for as long as possible.
Naturally.
Yeah.
Naturally.
Yeah. This guy's not the most hinged man though.
Yeah, no, he's not hinged enough to torture a person over a prolonged period of time. He just wants it. He just wants it over and done with, like a
It's also like worth
crazy
saying
person.
this dude has like drunkenly bumped into you and swung at you and stuff like that, but this guy's also being like, you kill people, you're brigands, you're horrible, right? Like this guy's not gonna like show up with a gun and be like, now I'm gonna finish this. Like that's not the vibe.
It isn't, but like he should know at this point that that is his only option. Like, you don't go, we're gonna curse their ship, and oh Christ, he blinded us. Like, a man
he
lost
blinded
his
like
vision.
3 of us. Dear
Like,
God.
you don't go into that and then say, I'm gonna
Probably not
inconvenience them
permanently.
again.
Probably
Like,
not
it's one of those
permanently.
things. It's just like the mages that weren't blinded would have to go and like take care of the counter curse to dispel it. You know?
Yeah,
Right.
but like,
Which still means you're like sitting there being like, oh no, for like an hour.
yeah. But at the same time, it's still just like, this person just counter cursed 3 of us in a circle.
Mhm.
I kind of don't want to do this again.
Yeah.
So what's the plan for the early afternoon?
Sail west. There's storms out west.
West. Do you mean
East.
east?
To Westwatch, which is east.
Yeah, it's tough being to the west of Westwatch because it's only like 2 bands of map squares. Okay, it's 4
Yeah.
bands of map squares. Like most of other things are to the east of Westwatch.
Most things are to the east of Westwatch. It's like moving to Ontario from the prairies and then moving
Yeah.
from Ontario to Nova Scotia and being like, oh yeah, I come from out east. Or wait, this is out east.
Or even moving from the prairies to Western University.
Yeah.
It's just like, yes, let me go east to Western University.
Yes.
So you guys are going east into the ocean. You keep your sails tight. You start to snake your way through a couple of the storms because they come in these little clumps. You can kind of like go through them and then lower your sails a while if they happen to overtake you, and then just like re-tighten them after it goes over. You make it 3 squares. So you're still kind of in the ocean, but you're getting closer to the coast. But with all of the rain, it's tough to tell how close you are.
There we go.
Want to go northeast now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's get that southwest wind.
Yeehaw.
The wind switches to the northeast.
Ooh.
Nice. Let's ignore that.
Yep. Oh man.
Let's disregard that. Yep. Nope.
Yep.
Yeah.
Well, I do get to give you bad news. Your ship has like the rectangular sails with the Genoa sail. You have to take it down to go through the storm, so you don't get the full 5. You get 3.
Still better than if it was against us.
Yeah.
So you make it. You make it to Westwatch.
Nice.
Whoa.
Oh.
Whoa. Yeah, that'd be.
I wanted to
So-
really make sure you knew where we were.
Yeah.
Look at me, I'm the star. I'm real big. I'm going to Westwatch.
Yeah. Look here, say I'm gonna be a star.
So it's the dinner. It's the dinner hour as you're making your way into Westwatch. You can see that there's some ships patrolling here and there, people going up and down. Bilgy and Rooker are not to be seen right now. They're under the deck, but they're shapeshifters. They can cloak. They've got a usual disguise. As you start to like veer into port, Bilgy comes up, kind of like excited sea dog style, as kind of like your ship mutt, just so that he can be there for when you dock.
He's a big fan of the docks.
This is a familiar place to Jane, not because you grew up here, but just because you lived here a while.
Mhm.
There's a couple of places that you could probably settle in for a little bit. What is everybody up to right now?
I like to sell some of the sugar if we can.
Yeah, sure. I'm not stopping you. We have a lot,
You said 18 gold worth?
roughly. Yeah.
Okay.
I think it's closer to 17.6.
Okay.
It is after market hours, so these would all be
Ah.
like illicit transactions.
Is sugar legal here?
Absolutely not.
Okay. Well, it would be an illicit transaction anyway, I guess.
Go find a cookie store.
Yeah.
Just a random bakery.
Yeah. Be like,
Like,
hey,
Hey, we got the good shit.
we got the good shit. No more honey for you, bud.
You want the
Alright.
crystals?
So, where are you parking?
I mean, we don't have any business with the Rookery, and I don't think it's a good idea for us to take business with the Rookery.
Yeah,
Right now,
necessarily.
anyway. Not while we're being hunted.
Yeah, and I mean, honestly, I think we should just throw down anchor just outside the city. Like, that's what we usually do. Good to sleep on the ship.
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys aren't settling into town?
No, because here's I think it's easier. You go in the morning. That's when all the other ships are going to be leaving, and there'll be lots of dock space.
Alright, so you make your way along, and sure enough, you are dead right. There's a whole bunch of ships that have already docked up, especially like by like all of the like dockside taverns and fish and chip places. It's dense as hell. Especially like the general marina is really dense right now. The places that are barren are all the merchant docks, because the few ships that are there are either empty or like being loaded longer term and are currently just like being left there. A lot of trading ships have gone to the other docks to settle in. You guys keep going and throw down anchor a little bit past the edge of the city, around where ships would turn around to make a second pass. Throw the anchor over the edge, drags a little while, and then eventually it starts to kind of like yank on the spinner there for a second, so you get a good hold of it, and the ship comes to a stop as you lower the sails. The sails are already lowered by the time you stop.
Cool.
Not bad, not bad. I'm gonna try scrying on the dude.
Alright, give me a roll.
Yeah, it's still an alright roll. That's 23.
Alright. So you feel yourself crowded. There's a lot of noise and people moving back and forth. You see, it's not just beast folk, but it's mostly beast folk here. There's a lot of people holding signs and shouting. you can see that there's people using these wooden signs kind of as shields, as there's the occasional like thrown bottle or brick coming from the other side. There's a bunch of guards moving around and shouting orders and trying to push people around with their shields.
Can I read any of the signs?
It's a little bit too far because it's something that you're not used to. Like you can piggyback on a ritual to get some vague sense of visual information, but can Croakwill read?
Fair point.
I don't know. Yeah. No, Croakwill could read. I feel like Croakwill would be able to feel.
I mean,
if someone writes
she
part
could
of
get
it.
a general.
different.
She could get a general sense based on like pictures and
Yeah.
things like that, and
Like you couldn't just glance. It would be the equivalent of having to like focus and like
Yeah.
parse the visual information to like what you would feel on your thumb over a page with ink.
mhm.
Yeah,
Is
it's probably
your-
yeah.
So your wagon inspector certificate it has no writing on it.
Oh, it has
No.
writing on it, but it's like the writing is basically what I would feel and what I would want to be put on there. Like
I see. So not literal writing.
Croakwill has seen
Okay.
an ID at some point and is basically faking it until she makes it.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's like a Rorschach's mask.
Yeah.
It's like that. There's just ink on the page in general, and then whenever somebody looks, it arranges to what they want to read on the ID based on what the magic tells them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Croakwill doesn't actually have to know. Croakwill needs to know what the ID is and what it's used for to enforce the credential socially and know when to use it. But the magic basically pulls the information from the person that's being influenced.
Also, don't forget
Okay.
about your super quality munitions inspector badge.
Right. Yeah.
Remind me, what was your roll for this?
23.
23. You could try to scry further. You're still keeping a hold that you could try to push in on, but it's pretty hectic here. If you scry a bit further, you could try to parse the signs. Otherwise, you could try to get some geographic information from the people around. You can't really see, like, street signs or anything, or, like, major landmarks. You can just see the roofs and the styles of the buildings.
Okay. I thought I'll cancel the scry and basically just be like, all right. So I didn't want to press too hard, in case he noticed something, but it seems like he's in some sort of protesting group. Like they're just roving band of protesters, maybe. I couldn't make out what any of the signs were saying, but
Were you able to hear what they were saying?
Not really. It was just a lot of shouting and noise and, the occasional brick. Whatever they do, whatever they're doing, raise quite a ruckus. And if they've been doing this for a while, we might be able to find some evidence of it in a paper.
Well, we just gotta find a place with political unrest, bricks, and boats.
We're literally in the Empire.
Right.
That it's literally like the tagline of the Empire right there. Like we've got it.
Yeah.
Political unrest, bricks, and boats.
And if we're assuming that they left from New Far Market, then it would have to be somewhere along that area, maybe.
All right. Well, can you bring up the map?
Yep, I can.
Let's take a. Oh no. Little map's too little. Zoomed in map's too zoomed in.
Yeah.
Here, I'll pull up the stuff on my end. You want to go down one and over one, I think. So that
Okay.
would be...
E7.
Is that the one?
I don't know. I just went down one and over one. There's White Abbey. So it would be along this coast for White Abbey. And then going over another one would be F7. Where's my
Okay,
F7?
so yeah, F8
F8.
is where Redwine Keep is, and the tip that is just opposite White Abbey is New Farm Market.
Okay.
Okay.
So they would have to be somewhere along there.
Because it's worth mentioning, when you scried them sailing, it was noon, so either they left earlier in the day or they were just leaving then at the minimum, and then they're not able to travel as fast as you, but they can still travel somewhat fast because they are boats.
Yeah.
I would like to make a politics roll to see if I can think of any sort of political happenings that would be influential enough to sort of spark mass protest from the sorts of people that a ex-Rooker mage would be a part of, you know?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. Let me remember how to read binary. That is a 7.
I feel like you got to give the camera context for that.
Oh yeah, this is my binary dice.
Oh. I don't know if I like that, but I mean, go off, I guess.
Yeah, that's so a 7. Sorry.
You have kind of the same joke of like, oh, like the former Empire Prospera, ho, ho, ho. And then you kind of just go, well, they threw bricks at us at Redwine Keep.
Yeah,
They did throw bricks at us in Redwine Keep.
and they were very anti-Rooker. They're angry. Was Redwine Keep also the place where there's that manifesto posted?
The manifesto posting was in Riverbend.
Riverbend, yes.
Worth saying, because this isn't the best roll, but it still got you something. So Redwine Keep's your first thought. If they came from New Far Market, White Abbey is just across the sea, and you caught them, like someone sailed all the way to Newtown while being like, yeah, I heard this. Like, I saw them as I was traveling by. So they would have already been settled in there, and they might be going to a second location. So it's probably not White Abbey, unless they had done something else and then gone to White Abbey. Like maybe rendezvoused in the ocean somewhere. White Abbey would be the most dramatic choice. Westwatch would be an extremely likely candidate if it weren't for the fact that you came here, sailed down the port, and didn't see a protest.
Yeah. Okay. So somewhere between like White Abbey and that town that was just in front of my eyes that you took away from me.
No, it was White Abbey.
Oh, right. Sorry, White Abbey, and we are
Redwine,
in
and then we are in Westwatch.
Westwatch. All of my mnemonic devices are failing me because so many of them are colors, or start with W, or R.
Yeah.
It's like all of my little shortcuts remembering things are failing me.
Starts with new something.
So New Farm Market that one's fun and funky. White Abbey, Redwine,
New Farm Market, Benny.
It's worth saying, New Farm Market has just come up a lot. It's just like a village. It's just a village. It's not even like written on the map.
But it's because we spent an entire campaign hunting life drinkers that were apparently going to a gathering in New Farm Market that were just like, it's that.
Important.
We also spent an entire campaign confusing Newtown for New Far Market. Which was difficult because you guys were trying to get to New Far Market and kept ending up in Newtown. And we kept going, we're here, let's stop some life drinkers.
God,
we're like, stick me pod. Shit.
Man.
Yeah.
We're a bunch of dummies.
I know.
You know what that makes me think of? Isn't there some dude, like, in Denver or something that is really, really bothered by his house being so close to the airport since they built it, so he painted on his roof, "Welcome to Cleveland."
Yes.
That's amazing.
That guy's fantastic. Every single pilot has to be like, yeah, the guy's just kind of being a dingus.
If you look out your window, you will see a man being a jackass.
Yeah. Oh, man. That'd be really funny if you looked out your window and it was just like the air traffic control and the pilots hate the ground crews. And the ground crew are just doing, moving boxes and luggage like they have to.
They're just like the people from the Muppets, like sitting up in the tower, like looking over,
The
being like,
Statler and
"There's
Waldorf.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that a forklift or a knife lift? Go easy on that, buddy.
Violence. Have the Muppets ever been in an airport?
Probably.
I imagine
You
for
think-
one of the Muppet movies, they must have.
I wonder if they just cut through the airports, because like I can't think of a scene with Muppets in an airport. Not that I have an encyclopedic Muppet movie model.
The trouble is they don't necessarily ever portray the Muppets as like
Mhm.
high class or high society or even like anything like that. So they're always driving like beat up cars to their destination.
Yeah.
But also like they've gone to all these wacky locations, these cool fun places.
Yeah.
But even in most movies, like it doesn't necessarily show someone in an airport. It'll be like someone driving a cab and being like, "Take me to O'Hare," and then they'll be like, "Toon toon toon," with like a helicopter shot, and it's like,
Yeah.
London, England.
Yeah, there you go. There's a picture of the Muppets in A Muppet's Christmas on North Pole Airlines talking to somebody at a desk in an airport.
Okay. All right.
Boom.
And then they leave Gonzo behind, and Kermit realizes it mid-flight. Just
He
wakes
goes-
up and goes, Gonzo!
One more time, more like Kermit, please.
Oh God. Oh God, how do I do?
Say
Hi-ho!
Gonzo like Kermit.
Gonzo!
Gonzo's sitting there in the house, loading up a shotgun, going, "Waka waka! Don't come into my house, motherfucker!"
The Muppets are great.
The Muppets are fantastic.
He gets into a scuffle, like one of the bandits like tears the gun away, like fires it, click, it's out of shells, then he goes, "Waka waka, check out my Glarka."
I know the Muppets have a PG rating, but like I feel like there's an untapped market of jokes that they're not making of rhymes with waka waka.
Yeah.
I mean, Fozzie Bear definitely has a gun.
He definitely owns a gun.
I mean, there is a Muppets movie called The Muppets Show Sex and Violence.
I remember that one from my childhood.
That's my favorite.
Mm.
Huh.
All right, game. What are we doing?
Alright,
is the
in
dinner
case
hour?
you doubted me.
Oh God.
You're gonna have to post that to the.
Should we make a
Discord or
sign
something.
saying "Welcome to Newtown"?
Okay, yeah, okay, can I do a crafting roll to make a welcome to Newtown sign?
Yeah, go for it. Yeah.
Okay. I only printed out one of these binary dice, so
Oh, no.
What materials do you have for this?
I used PLA.
No, the sign.
Wow,
I have-
game.
Nicely done.
Sorry, it was too stupid. It broke me.
Yeah.
Okay, I have like we're on a ship. We surely have wooden planks, like
Yeah.
to repair
There's-
things.
You have like shitboard, but you don't have that much of it.
Ah,
The amount that it would take to make a sign would be like enough that you have to go and buy more wood.
blech. All right. In that case,
Is wood really expensive right now? Like it is IRL?
No, there's no softwood lumber disputes or supply chain interruptions.
Yeah. Except for sugar. Haha. Okay, what I'm gonna do then is okay. If we're gonna do this, we have to do it right, and a handwritten sign isn't what really welcomes people to a city. So what I'm thinking is like if I make some real nice ink and pressurize it, can we just graffiti on a rock wall?
None of us have that artistic ability.
You're right.
You can make like a die pack. You kind of have to just get a paintbrush.
Yeah.
And none of us are artistic. In terms
Well,
of
yeah, you never know. Ken and Ye might know a thing or two.
like a perform, like a physical perform, I have no points in perform.
In that case, can I spend this time practicing my calligraphy?
Ken and Ye and Sun munitions and fake signs.
Yeah. You know, like work out exactly the kind of font that I think would work well and have it all ready to go.
Sun develops Times New Roman in Bloodwine.
You have like the crates that you put your munitions in. They're already slotted with little like lattices, and you usually end up keeping them.
I have a thought. Could
Okay.
you set up a ritual so that when someone scries you, they see what you want them to see? Like, you're setting it up so that when they scry you...
So, like, instead of just getting blocked by wards, the ward instead projects something.
Projects something. Yeah.
Do like
It
a
would-
chroma key filter.
It would be heavily influenced by what you're trying to project.
Like, I don't know, like just a memory that you have of being in Newtown, or something like that. Or just a big fuck you.
Well, I mean, now that you mention it, Crowquill's been wanting to do that for a long time. But, like, literally, like, an entrance to a town sign, Crowquill leaning back on a lawn chair on the Bilgewater's,
Yeah.
like, on the Bilgewater's bow, just looking at the town sign that just reads, "Fuck you, Rooker asshole," and it's just like, ah, nice. And then
Nice.
it cuts.
Rutger comes
No.
by and gives you guys a couple of bowls of stew.
Okay.
Well, thanks. This is real nice.
How difficult would it be to project something like that?
You could try to like make some kind of trinket and like stash it somewhere in Newtown the next time you're there, and have that be a focal point that's like a live feed. Whoever is there would eventually figure out that like they're just looking at a random point if they can't find you there. To make it a memory, that would be... It's a really low level kind of thing. Like, it could be convincing to a really novice mage, but anybody with any decent training would find that it's like the wrong texture and then like identify that it's something made up.
Okay.
Stencils.
Stencil.
Could I make some stencils? Because this is the sort of thing that would be useful no matter where you are. Some nice high quality stencils.
So currently you are like just in the midst of like getting all this stuff prepped. You're thinking about a typeface. You're putting all this together. By now it's getting close to like the evening hour. People at the docks are going out for drinks, that kind of thing.
Okay, but I guess it doesn't matter if it's just Crowquill on the beach looking at a sign that says "fuck you." It doesn't matter if they realize that it's fake, right?
Yeah, but at that point, I might as well put all my effort in making sure that they don't break the scry.
Sure, but don't you want to give them a big fuck
I
you?
really do, yes.
Okay, when we get into town, I'll purchase some wood and just make a sign. I'm looking at the precious resources I purchased to make like gun supplies, and I don't want to tap into that for something this silly.
At this point, Crowquill has, like, wolfed down her bowl of stew and, like, takes out of her pocket some seed for warbles to eat, and then just, like, begins going upstairs being like, I have a fucking idea. And, like, and then just
Alright.
modifying, she's basically redoing the scry ward, so that, if someone were to scry on it, instead of just getting blocked, what they would see is a sign that says "fuck you." There's like a beach, and there's Crowquill doing a dance.
This is you making your own 404 page, like with a raw HTML.
Yeah.
Brockwell's a web dev.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so you kind of like sit there, kind of like, I want to be size of fuck you. You're like putting a little bit of a taunt flavor into this ritual. Want to give me a roll for that?
Okay.
So this wouldn't be added onto the ritual. You would have to basically have like a little circle or a sigil or a talisman that's making this effect happen.
Okay. I will make a talisman that will have that effect. That is a
Where's it located?
27. In the... Ooh, I want it to be somewhere where I can keep an eye on it. Somewhere where I can easily access it. I would say that I'm putting it not on like the very bow of the ship. It's like we probably have some railing, so I'd probably take a little bit of rope and like lash it to one of the railings. Like
Okay.
connected to where I have one of my scries or like one of my words.
All right. So right at the edge of the port side ladder, so right where someone would come on, there's a little bit of railing. The railing is actually being used as a mounting point right now for the shielding. So there's not a lot of risk that this would actually go to the ocean. It would fall off into the boat because it kind of ricochets along the shielding. So you tie it there, nice and firm, and you have it set up.
And it looks suspicious. The talisman looks suspiciously like a middle finger.
It's a little bit of molded clay.
It's just how it came together, you know.
I don't think that if you were to make something that looks vaguely like a middle finger, you can't have it be vague and also not escape the dick and balls image.
Oh, 100% it's both. It's
a little bit of both.
It's
right?
a little bit of both.
It's tied up with coconut fiber and a little bit of like palm fronds to give it the island look.
Yeah.
So, you guys heading to bed then?
Yeah.
I think so.
I tell Otto to keep an eye out for any rickety looking ships traveling in groups of 10 or more.
Otto agrees and starts to just do like a slow guard swivel. Occasionally does like interruptions at random so that it's not like trackable. You guys all make your way down below decks and head off to bed. You wake up with the ship being rocked back and forth. Otto didn't wake anybody up. It's the early dawn as you guys are all waking up.
All right. Well, let's say we get a space to dock and plan our next move.
Okay. Stock up on supplies and see what we can see.
Yeah.
You make your way to the back of the ship and you start reeling up the anchor. It dislodges, and then you're able to get it all the way back up and haul it over the edge again. From there, you unfurl the sails and start to make your way up and down. It's quiet. There's some ships that have moved a little bit later in the night, but most of them are where they were when you left. But because of the lack of traffic and the fact that you have kind of like some dawn light, you're able to quickly identify there's a couple of spots in the general marina. There's a couple of them that are out towards the warehousing district. Where are you heading?
The warehouse district, I think.
Okay. You make your way over there, and you can see there aren't that many open spaces. There is one spot that has a big sign that's like overflow parking 2 hours max.
Is there any spots that aren't overflow that are 2 hours max?
You could always just park in front of an empty-looking warehouse and hope nobody yells at you.
Yeah, we're pretty good at that.
If nothing else, we pay them off and we sell them some sugar and go on our merry way.
Yeah.
And they already have the empty warehouse to store it all.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
All right. So we have sugar to sell.
Yeah.
We have warehouse to dock at.
I'm gonna take maybe Croquill and go sell some sugar.
Okay.
All right. So you make your way off the ship after docking by a warehouse that doesn't look like it sees much traffic. It looks a bit disheveled. There's a guard on patrol that notices you and just kind of lackadaisically goes over to check for papers. You flash a port pass and the guard leaves, looking a bit disgruntled. The pair of you get up and start going for a walk. You have like a whole bunch of like bags of sugar. How are you hiding them?
It's a good question. I feel like my robes are covering a little bit of it.
Yeah.
Or like concealing some of it.
I'm gonna roll smuggler for it.
Can I just put a big sign on it that says flour? Like, is flour illegal?
Canonnier and Son. Flour.
Flour.
What was the smuggling roll?
I haven't done it yet.
And then just out of force of habit, you have a, like, dangerous ammunition symbol somewhere in there as well.
Yeah.
19.
If you can give it to Croquill and just make sure Croquill's arms are in the right place and that they're like pressed against kind of her torso with a bit of like the cloak, nobody will notice that it says sugar. People will just notice sack and be like, okay, someone's in the warehousing district carrying a couple of sacks of something.
All right. So you used to live here. I'm assuming you have a couple of contacts.
Probably.
Who would buy sugar?
Bakers. Restaurants.
I mean, yeah.
Taverns. Smugglers that can then go on to sell it at an increased, even further increased price.
Parents.
Children. They
Children.
love that shit.
Yeah.
All right, it's time to
Go up to a bunch of kids, like, flop a sack of flour on the ground and be like, hey, kids, you want the good shit?
I want that good shit.
Ananier and Sons Confectioner. Confectionery. Confectionistic ordeal.
Well, there are like bakeries and pastry shops and stuff like that around town. You could, I don't know how you would market to parents directly. I'm going to leave that up to you.
Maybe not parents.
She goes to a PTA meeting.
Yeah.
Anybody want some red dye number 5?
I guess, I don't know. Do you maybe go to a bakery first? Bakeries, they like sugar, don't they?
You like sugar, right?
Yeah, totally. Who doesn't like sugar?
I don't know. I don't know who would buy sugar in an illegal sugar market. Who buys sugar in an illegal sugar market?
Well, it's worth saying there is no legal sugar. There is only illegal sugar. Like, if you don't have sugar, you gotta get honey. Or syrup. Or, like, creatively
Why would sugar
used
be illegal
jams.
anyway?
Because the only place it grows is on soft.
Oh. Alright, let's fucking bakery, I guess.
Can I do a politics roll? If sugar is illegal, would guards be cracking down on bakeries, being like, that looks like a glaze to me, sir?
It's a honey glaze, I swear.
What role did you say you were going to do? Politics?
Politics.
Go for it.
Okay, and that is a 11.
11. They would probably be looking for the point of purchase so that they can catch everyone involved. If they're just going after the customers, it doesn't solve anything. They're going after people like you more than they're going after the bakeries themselves.
Okay.
Like, the whole way you get past the guards is with the stuff that Jane does.
Okay.
Well, and the port pass. It really helps that they can't search your ships.
Yeah. So the bakery would not be like, it wouldn't be like, hey, weed is illegal and we're selling special brownies. It would be like, hey, you don't know how this is sweetened and you can't prove anything.
Basically, yeah.
I've already
And
used
they
all
have
the
empty sacks
product.
of flour. You've made your way up towards one of the first places. You tell me, Jane, how do you know this contact?
I mean, I lived in the city. Jane probably eats sweets.
It was the equivalent to your Starbucks.
Yeah, probably went there regularly.
All right. So you make your way over. This is like they do mostly loaves of bread and like little pies and stuff like that. This is mostly like not an industrial bakery, nothing so fancy. It's still an enclosed building with like 3 people working, but they do like daily needs. They're not doing pastries or anything fancy like that.
As
One
I
of the
walk in,
bakers.
it's just like, is that pumpkin spice?
Oh, they're definitely making pumpkin pies right now. You get a big waft of it, and with pumpkin pies, you're able to get like molasses and syrup, but it's not ideal. One of the bakers looks over and goes, "Oh, hey Jane,
Hello.
long time no see. Back in town?
Back in town. Back in town.
What can I get you?
Um, okay.
Pumpkin pie's
Jane,
hot."
Jane is very bad at social roles.
At that point, Croak will just be like, "Hey Jane, grab us a pumpkin pie. Yeah, yeah, grab us a pumpkin pie. That would go well on the ship."
Sure, sure.
Uh,
I'll get a pumpkin pie.
and then it's just like, that's so for the pumpkin pie, you're using what, molasses for that?
Uh, well, we aren't able to get our hands on molasses per se. We've
Oh,
been
that's
using
unfortunate.
kind of like a cooked up syrup mix. It's tough to get the flavoring right. You have to balance it with a little bit more salt than I'd like, but still a pumpkin pie, certified from this bakery. You can smell it right now.
Okay, that's pretty good. Are there other people in the bakery, or is it just like just us?
They're they're pretty distracted, like the bakers are. Some people have come and gone, but this is like when people go and buy stuff. Usually, they're going out to like the front where there's like a table. Uh, Bakeries need to spend a lot of time before they accept customers, just like prepping things, but no reason not to like leave the door open a crack if you're ready to start selling stuff. So you're kind of getting there like right around the dawn hour when they're starting up.
Okay,
It's kind of dead.
it's like, well, the last shipment we brought in had some fresh flour, so we were trying to sell some. Um, none of the other markets are really buying it. I just like shift my hand ever so slightly.
The the baker kind of looks from side to side and then just kind of goes like, "Yeah, just 1 second." Goes over to talk to one of the more senior bakers, like mumbles something, gestures over towards you,
Put my hand
and
back
then
up.
the senior baker like nods, and then your contact brings you into the back room of the bakery, going, "Yeah, just drop it down here at the supply room. How much do I owe you?" Like just acting like it's flour, and then going, "How much do I owe you for this?" Baker says it's okay. We just have to hide it in a different sack, but we'll do that after you leave.
Be
Okay,
able
so
to like bring? Were we able to bring all of it?
I don't think we were able to bring all of it because
well, how much? Yeah, you.
this is a question for Will, because
Yeah.
It's 18.
the bags
It's
are
18
hidden on me.
Yeah, it's 18 golds worth of sugar, right?
Yeah, I'm just doing that math. 11 plus 5 plus 1.6 is 17.6.
What are those numbers coming from? What are you talking about?
The amount of sugar we have?
Yeah.
I just have it listed down here in 2 separate transactions. Because,
Okay, what are the 2 transactions?
So we sold the mini cannonballs for 11.9,
Mm-hmm.
and we sold the cannonballs for 5.7 golds worth of sugar.
Yeah. So then, I think that's what you paid. I think.
Huh?
Is that the only record you have of the transaction?
No, so we had 10 gold worth of mini cannonballs,
Mm-hmm.
and we sold those in exchange for 11.9 gold of sugar. And then we had 5 gold of cannonball that we traded for 5.7 gold of sugar.
So how much sugar do you have?
I'm doing the math, and it's 17.6.
Okay, 17.6. So
Yeah.
these are like, you have multiple sacks, and these are like big, heavy sacks. The way that you might buy sugar nowadays, you might have like a 1 pound bag that's like, length of your forearm and like this wide kind of thing. These are like big, heavy things that go foof and kind of like fold over on themselves. They're heavy, and you kind of have to like bear hug them and waddle a little bit.
Yeah, so I'm basically bear hugging a sack and waddling behind you as you guide me through, and the cloak is concealing everything.
Is this like the full 17.6 gold worth of sugar?
No. I don't
Is
think
it
I would.
not?
I don't think I would be able to carry that on me. Would I be able to carry that on me into town?
I mean, you're not like smuggling it under your clothes. The whole thing with the smuggling was that you're just past those, and then creatively you're covering all the insignia and just carrying sacks of something.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. All right.
Yeah,
We
you
got
guys
it.
will do
It's
that.
much the same way that like you moved all of the swamp grass at once by just putting it in barrels and having Rooker carry an unmarked barrel.
Okay.
Fair enough.
So what should we say that this is worth then?
If it was,
Well, you said it was 17.6, right?
Yeah.
Yes, that's how much it is worth.
Are you going to barter for it?
I think we should.
I don't have a point in barter, but I can try and barter for 18 gold to make it an even number.
Just barter in general, and
Because you also have rarity on your side. It's going to inflate because you
All
got
right.
it over the other side.
I'll barter for 18.
18 plus.
I rolled a 7.
All right, so you got a 7. So 7 and then.
Yeah.
Okay, so you said it was 17 point.
6.
You're able to make your way off with 20 gold, 9 silver, 5 copper.
Nice.
Bam. And there's 7 of us on the ship. Divided by 7 is a nice round nonsense number. Hang on.
You made a good sale, so like
Yeah.
whatever it is, be a little bit more givey on the numbers.
Yeah. So it's just like, okay. Crokel's definitely happy with that.
Okay.
I'll go to the back. Pleasure doing business with you, and I will take our pumpkin pie and pay for that.
Yeah.
In business, doing pleasure with you.
So how
Right,
much?
the
How
pumpkin-
much is that divided by 7?
Everybody on the ship gets 2 gold, 9 silver, 9 copper, and there is exactly 2 copper left over. That
Croquel uses the remaining copper and all of her copper to purchase pumpkin pie for the crew.
So a full-size pumpkin pie, big enough for everyone to have a slice, is going to be 4 silver.
Croquel will take it out. So she'll use all of her copper and like how much silver did we have as well?
9
It's
silver.
one of those.
9 silver.
It's one of those
Okay.
things where you're like getting rid of all your change.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just like, all right, so you gave us 2 extra copper and like 9 copper for me, so I'll just bundle all this together and there we go. Pumpkin pie. I still get the 2 gold and
Yeah.
4 silver.
So be-
I think.
So it's 2 gold, 9 copper, 9 silver. So then 4 minus 0 point minus 0.2. Hang on. Okay. Goodness gracious. It was
Man,
9.
we
Going
just-
clink, 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 shink. This happens when you're back on the ship later on. Like you have everything on the table, and you're like, you got like, you're using your knife just to kind of like split the coins off into different piles. Like,
We just kind of show up and be like give everyone their paycheck. Like,
It's like, here's the smuggling job, guys. Here we go.
here we
Okay.
go.
So yeah, everybody can add 2 gold, 9 silver, 9 copper, and Crowquill, you add 2 gold, 6 silver, and 1 copper.
Okay.
So as you guys are leaving, there's a couple of guards nearby that notice you and kind of like flag you down for a second.
Holding the pie, like, hello.
Yeah.
How's it going?
Hello.
Didn't know they were open. Are they open right now?
Yeah.
Thank you. And he gestures for the other guard, and they go into the bakery.
Fresh baked.
Fresh baked. Man, we're terrible smugglers.
I'm a fantastic smuggler, actually.
You actually
Well-
overhear from behind you going, like the guards going, "Hey, those pumpkin pies fresh."
Can we come back and see how fresh they are?
Like, that's what I'm wondering, and I'm just like, oh no. Did we just... Oh no. But it's fine. It's fine. It's fine.
Fine. It's fine.
That's funny.
Well, you could always like hide around the edge of an alley for a couple of minutes.
You know, that kind of might do. If we want to listen in on the guards, like, what I want to do is, I either want to go to a bar or, like, just some place where we can gather news of the world. And, like, try and ask people about different, like, riots and protests that they've heard going on. Like, unrest in the South, basically. And overhearing a
So-
guard might actually be a good thing, because they might have gotten news being like, did you hear about these bullshit new regulations or some shit?
The best way to source your information is either official stuff, like go and get a newspaper from a vendor in a marketplace, going to do exactly what you're doing, like eavesdropping on a guard. You could maybe like talk to people in the market during the day. The taverns would really be busy at night. Might be able to talk to the sailors just by the docks, see if they've heard anything.
Yeah. We got fresh pumpkin pie. Let's get it back to the crew while it's still warm.
You continue on and bring it back to the ship.
Oh boy.
At this point, as you're coming in with a pumpkin, like Rooker, or like he looks at the pumpkin pie, he looks at the pumpkin that's still there and goes, "Well, I love something fresh baked, but I mean, we have a pumpkin."
Oh,
Yeah,
I always thought it was a metaphor.
what design did Jane carve into the pumpkin?
Jane did not.
I did not carve anything into the pumpkin yet.
Are you crazy? Carving pumpkins?
In this economy?
It can't, because so pumpkin carving can't be too complicated, right? Because you're
No.
carving like a pumpkin.
I mean, you could be an artisan about it, but it is an activity that you do with kids on Halloween. It's not that hard.
Yeah.
There are those people that get, like, shading in their pumpkin by, like, shaving off certain layers so only certain amount of light passes through. Those people are artists.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be back in a tick.
But most people, you know, they just kind of, like, cut out some eyes and a mouth and all
Some
that good
triangle
stuff.
eyes.
Yeah,
some teeth,
exactly.
yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like that's what Jane would do too. Like
Yeah.
triangle eyes, some teeth, you know.
Yeah, just some, like, basic shit that doesn't really
Angry eyebrows.
Yeah.
That's scary for the kids. You want to do happy eyebrows.
matter. You gotta make them happy.
We weren't.
Angry eyebrows.
As a kid, I wasn't allowed to make a scary pumpkin. My mom made me make a nice pumpkin.
I don't actually remember ever carving pumpkins, but that's because I lived in the middle of the boonies and no one ever came to our house.
Oh, we did too. We lived in Brasso, Alberta, which is population us.
When you left, the town became a ghost town.
Yeah, basically. Chelsea, you've driven down by Brasso.
Yeah.
It's not big, hey?
No. I would say that it's barely a town, actually.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't
would
think I
you?
would even really call it a town. It's more like
Yeah, because
It's-
there's town, there's village, and then there's township.
This is smaller than that. This is house, a community center, and a church.
yeah.
That sounds like a township to me.
Hmm.
Because that sounds like my hometown. Glorious
Yeah.
So
township.
Pumpkin decided it's gonna be just like the triangle eyes with some like teeth and angry eyebrows.
All right. Want to roll delicate?
Sure.
Unless you have a different skill you're thinking of.
I don't know. Delicate's fine.
Unless you use a weapon and you like take out a switchblade and you're like,
Let's carve this bitch.
Yeah.
Probably delicate. Delicate makes the most sense. I got a 17.
17. So you carve this up nice. You get a lot of the goop out, and you offer it to Rooker, right?
Mhm.
He's got an empty jar that he like helps you get it all out in there. Like he seems perplexed by this, but like not as perplexed as you think he would be.
Just a little confused as to why
Yeah.
I'm doing this.
Certainly
He kinda
a
looks
weird
at me
way
and
to
he's
carve
like-
a pumpkin.
So you make a face in the gourd? You're not. It doesn't hold liquid. You're not curing the inside.
Mm.
I would also be confused as to why you're making a water gourd. We have perfectly good butts, but I am intrigued.
You know, he's really not gonna. There's no answer you could give that he would be like, "Oh yeah, that makes sense."
I mean, explain a jack-o'-lantern.
Yeah.
It's spooky. You put a
It's
face.
you
and
carve out a gourd.
you put a spooky face, and then teenagers kick it.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
doing it for the teens. That's what you're doing.
So they have something to exert their rebellious attitude on Halloween.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, lest it be your mailbox.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You also get a lot of squirrels eating them.
Yeah.
Like,
Gross.
I fucking love the idea of a person who particularly puts out pumpkins for teenagers to smash, and they're
Yeah.
like, they go to the house and they're like, trick or treat, and the guy's just like, oh, what are you gonna do to trick me? And it's like, well, smash your pumpkins, and he's like, go on.
Oh yeah. Oh.
What will you do to them? Will you use
Oh,
a bat?
tell me-
What sort of thing will you do?
God, this gets worse and worse.
The neighborhood I grew up in, there was a guy, and he had a house, and every year on Halloween, he would do it for like multiple days, and all the neighborhood kids could come by, and like it was a whole thing that was like to get donations from the food bank and a bunch of stuff. So like on Halloween, like and a couple of days before, you would go by in this entire property, there would be like 500 jack-o'-lanterns. And like, you know the thing you're talking about with like the shading and all that? Like
Yeah.
it was exactly that. Like a bunch of these were like community pumpkins, you know, like you could tell that some of them were made by like young kids who lived in the neighborhood.
Yeah.
But like a lot of them were like a Sobeys logo and it's painted green on the inside, so with a candle it's like showing that like Sobeys legit was helping fund all of this guy's like pumpkin carving endeavors, because it was like just a huge like massive food bank donation thing.
That's pretty cool.
Man.
Not gonna lie,
Yeah.
that's pretty fucking
And-
sick.
Yeah.
And the thing is, it happened every year. I don't know if it still does. I'd have to check. But like because of that, people would get better every year because they're coming back to do more pumpkins.
Mm-hmm. Now, like, when you say that, I'm just picturing like this guy goes to the food bank and just dumps a whole bunch of pumpkin guts on the desk. He's like, there you
A
go.
truckload. I wouldn't be surprised. Because like
Yeah.
the food bank does a lot with they don't like cans that much. Like cans are fine. Like it's food. It's
Yeah.
good, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But apparently what they really want is like deals they can make with like grocery stores and farms if they can get like
Yes.
fresh produce.
That
And then
makes
they also want to just get straight up cash. Because like if you can just be like, hey, we have a $500 budget every month to like get food that is actually balanced from a dietary standpoint, so
Yeah.
we're not just giving people like 16 cans of rice aroni.
Yeah. You can't do that. That's can't live off that.
You
Well,
mean that
so
I
you-
can't live off 20 cans of Chef Boyardee?
No.
You can live, but you can't thrive.
Man must not live on Boyardee alone.
Man cannot live on Boyardee alone. It is not man's way. Anyway, so you've carved this thing up. You've got a candle in it. It's pretty well secured. Like it stays on. Where are you putting it? Because keep in mind, you're a boat at sea, so you would like maybe have to like tie it down a little or keep it below deck or something.
The pumpkin? Is that what we're talking about?
Mhm.
Um. Hmm.
Lash it to the wheel.
Yeah, like I kind of wanted to put it like at the wheel or something. Um.
So the wheel has like a housing that's like a big wooden enclosed thing that has like all the gear mechanisms and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And sure enough, there's a big flat section right in front of it that you can just go clunk.
That's where I want to put it.
Does it face the front of the ship or does it face the driver?
The driver.
That's it's not discerning at all.
God.
So as you go and do that, like, are you guys leaving town?
I guess so.
Unless Son needs to go buy supplies for his stencil business that he's starting up.
Oh no,
No.
we need to spy on the guards. We need to figure
Oh, yeah.
out
Yeah,
if they
what are
know
we gonna
anything.
do?
Well, not necessarily spy on the guards. We can ask the sailors around here if they know of any
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
riots that have been going.
Like I think we need to do a tavern night. Get some intel, you know?
That sounds pretty good. That is, if the warehouse people haven't noticed us yet.
We can move I guess we can move our ship. Okay, fine. Well, I mean, the tavern isn't close. Is the thing.
It's not close, no.
Let's move our ship closer to the taverns. Now that
Alright,
we've done
you
our market
guys-
business.
You guys undock, and you can see that like there's a couple people coming by to unlock the warehouse, and as they see you leaving, they just kind of shrug and get back to business.
Thank you
Yeah.
for supporting our illegal smuggling, Ray.
They don't really hear what you're saying, but they just kind of give you a vague kind of wave. You go down the port a little ways and then steer around and make a second pass. Are you looking for the general marina so you can like sit down and talk to a bunch of travelers, or are you looking for like a quality spot in front of a tavern? A lot of people who need to go out for work, by now it's the early morning, so the sailors are already like doing the same thing. They're unmooring from the docks and leaving. Taverns are wide open.
I
Yeah,
think we take
we're
the
in front
tavern.
of the taverns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We need news of the world. We will
Mhm.
Okay.
we will catch people as they come in.
Normally I make the taverns up, but since we have a contact, Jane, what's the tavern?
Ooh. The Whispering Dolphin. And it's in. Well, it has to be closer to port because we're looking for like travelers with recent information, right?
Mhm.
So the Whispering Dolphin, somewhere close to port.
All right, so you dock up in front of the Whispering Dolphin. It's a multi-story, like it's not a fancy inn. Those are in town, and those are like like the Dog and Bone, and it's like the Gilded Goat, like those kind of places. And you go up, and it's like they give you like fresh boar meat and all that kind of stuff. This place is kind of like it's not the Olive Garden because you went to Marinara Garden. This is genuinely just like a vaguely classy sounding place so that like anybody who's bringing like their kids on a journey is like, I know it's a dockside tavern, but it's not that bad.
Look, it's just called Montana's. It's fine. It's a fancy place, kids. You'll love it. They have things that you can
They've good
draw
ribs.
on.
They have good ribs.
Good ribs.
Yeah.
So as you get in there, you aren't really able to catch the first group of people you see. They're all like leaving with their stuff, getting back over to. You can see there's actually a couple of coaches parked on the other side. They go into one of them, and the other coach is still waiting. Inside the tavern, there's a couple of people here and there. There's some people getting like coffee and tea, just kind of waiting to leave. A lot of people still wearing their traveler's clothes, and like every now and then a bunch of people at a table will get up and leave in unison with all their bags.
All right. Time to get some info.
Yeah.
Time to eavesdrop.
Time to drop some eaves.
Okay, so where are you guys placing yourselves? this one, even though it's this big, tall tavern, there's only kind of just like this big, wide, single-story dining room area. There's a couple of staircases on either side that go up to the different wings full of rooms.
Probably at the bar. I'm gonna go to the bar.
I mean, the bar is the place to be, ain't it?
Yeah.
All right.
Croquill
Make
is
your
going
way
to
up
taste
and-
the joint.
Oh, okay.
I want to roll understand as I walk through to kind of like gauge where people have been.
Okay. So, Jane, you're going to the bar. Croquill, you are walking back and forth and chatting with people. And Sun, what are you doing?
Son is going to the bar, and he is gonna order a nice. He's going up to the bar and he's going to the bartender and say, "Hey, got any local beers you'd recommend?"
This time in the morning, I would get something from the market, probably.
He doesn't have an IPA that he's trying to say from his buddy's microbrewery.
This is a big city. If they say they don't do liquor for breakfast, they don't do liquor for breakfast.
Ugh. Then, can I have some eggs?
Yep, some eggs.
Yeah.
Anything along with that? Toast, hash browns.
Bacon.
Eggs and
More
bacon?
eggs.
Yeah.
All right, eggs and bacon. Anything with that? Coffee, tea.
No. No, just the eggs and bacon.
All right, get that up ready for you real quick. Did you want to pay now or after you've had a chance to sit down?
I'll pay at the end. The end of all this.
All right, I'll get that ready for you quick. They go off towards the kitchen and then stop for a second. See Jane. Are you guys pretending to be separate, or are you just sitting down together? So you can like mutter to each other.
Son would not even remotely comprehend the idea of pretending to be separate. He just wanted eggs.
Okay, so this is like Jane is sitting there looking at the people, like listening over her shoulder. And then she just hears like, oh, nice. The bartender goes, anything for you?
Me? I'm okay.
All right, perfect. How do you like your eggs?
Scramble them.
All right,
Really mangle them up in there.
get those ready for you. They go
Yeah.
off to like behind the doors there. The
more
bartender comes back a
powdered
little bit later
eggs.
to like make deals with other people. There's some people who come up to check out. Croquill, did you roll understand?
Yes, I rolled a 13.
13. You're making your way around, like trying to sidle along where people are. A lot of people are traveling, and you can hear them carrying heavy bags. If you were to try to rob people, this would be a good place.
Oh no.
That's
that
for
being
later.
said-
That's for later.
Yeah, that's for later. Your instincts, you kind of push them to the side and focus on the task at hand. A lot of people are talking about where they're going, and then someone else is going, "Oh, if you're doing that, you should stay in White Abbey. I heard Red Wine Keep isn't good these days. I heard that there's people hooting and hollering and throwing things at people. Ever since that summit, things just haven't been the same."
That
We
just
assumed
keeps
it was
me-
red wine.
All right. I want to go up to that person and just be like, "Excuse me, I'm sorry, I couldn't help but overhear what you were saying. I'm from Red Wine. I've never heard of what's happening."
Oh, just in the past couple of weeks, I just heard that things were tense. Did you hear anything? I heard that there were people with, like riding along, like those armband people.
No, I haven't heard anything at all about this.
It was fine when they were just a bunch of rascal kids, like Boy Scouts finding a purpose, but this is just a little too far.
Well, that's certainly not the Red Wine that I grew up in.
Hey, dude.
And Jane just overhears all this and just goes, "Ah." And what was this about a summit? I didn't hear anything about a summit recently.
Oh, I don't know much about that. Some politic thing. I just keep to myself. It's easier that way.
Oh, yes, it's so much easier that way. You know, I'm not one to gossip, but Redwine, I had to leave. You know, it was going a little bit downhill.
Well, being right across the bay from New Farm Market, not as close as White Abbey, but
At
I wouldn't
that,
feel comfortable.
Croak will, like, mentioning New Farm Market, Croak will just, like, does, like, a visible, like, oh, yeah, no.
Well, we actually have to go catch a ferry. But
Oh,
have a
yes.
good day.
Best to you. And Croco wanders away, basically gets to Jane and just goes,
She's gonna be like, oh my
Ah.
god.
ah.
So, Coco, as you sit down, there's the clink of a plate, scrambled eggs and bacon, reasonably quick to turn around for the breakfast here.
Well, thank
Are you with them? Can I get you anything for breakfast?
The strongest coffee you got to burn the taste buds out of my mouth.
Got it. It takes about, like, a minute for the bartender to come back with a hot cup of coffee.
Croco drinks it.
All right, so for the coffee and the breakfast, anything else before you go?
Yeah, no, I think we're good.
Good.
Oh, hey, you haven't heard what's going on down in Redwine, eh?
Oh, I don't know. There was the summit, and there were some protesters protesting that. Both sides.
Oh, what was the summit? What's this summit all about?
It's something to do with, like land rights and restrictions and jurisdictions. Apparently, Redwine is looking to have some kind of port allowance for beast folk.
Or,
I don't want to get political, but I can't be bothered. I remember growing up and seeing beast folk in the street when I was a kid.
yeah.
All this has gone too far.
Okay.
I feel like this is the only area that Sun would actually have any form of tact, because you actually have dots in political, don't you?
No.
I thought you
I
did.
don't.
You keep rolling political. I thought you had dots
I
in
keep
it.
rolling really, really high. I just put some like dots into mental itself so that if I had to do a mental crafting roll, I wouldn't flub it.
Fair enough.
Yeah, no.
I imagine you get some ancillary political knowledge when you buy enough gunpowder, you know?
Yeah, I feel like
The same way that, like, if you spend too much time on anime forums, you start to know too much about the age of consent in different places. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly. I think Sun's reaction is just so, I still don't really know where you stand on the issue, but I think this conversation has gotten a little too in-depth for sort of our relationship. Thanks, friend.
Yeah, I know. Crazy times.
Yeah, see,
Right, so, sorry, that would be 7 copper for all that, with the
Yeah,
coffee. Coffee's 2, eggs and bacon are 5. Is that separate, or?
I'll pay for my eggs and bacon separate. This guy's loaded.
It's just like I put the copper on the table and it's just like, no idea what you're talking about. Look at me, and walk away.
Yeah.
You guys finish up your breakfast, and now it's getting closer to, like, the late morning. Do you still bum around here in the tavern a little while, or do you go back out onto the street?
You can probably go back out on the street.
Well, yeah, I mean, so we know that there's some unrest. There's a summit in Redwine.
Well, you should scry again, see if they're still there, and then if they are still there, maybe we head down to Redwine.
Yeah.
Sounds like a good enough plan to me. I'll do some scrying. It's not that great of a scry, but you know what? We'll have to go with it. That's 20.
20. You encounter no defenses.
This
Rooker
guy
Mariner
is... This guy.
Rooker Mariner doesn't have any of his regalia on. He's just kind of got the sackcloth, and he is in a jail cell. There's 2 beds, but he's alone. You see him kind of like pacing and muttering to himself.
What's he say? What's he say?
Yeah, can I pick up any of the muttering, or is it incoherent, like, half sentences?
Bourgeois, fascist collaborating. I can't believe they would do this. All we're trying to do is have a peaceful demonstration for our rights to get some kind of peaceful solution.
I thought I just kind of like, I'm just like, yeah, he's still in red wine.
He's still in red wine.
Idiot caught himself in jail.
Yeah, he didn't consider that maybe the battle he started wasn't over.
Nor did he consider that his actions may have consequences. It was just like, fucking idiot. It was just like, also he was muttering something about a peaceful protest, but I definitely saw him throwing bricks.
I mean, peace is sort of a relative term.
Yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, I mean, he wasn't using high quality munitions from Kanye and Son. So how violent could it be?
Have you ever considered manufacturing bricks as munition?
You mean like make my bullets less aerodynamic, and
But they would definitely pack more of a punch.
And they'd be easier to store.
Yeah, you just stack them up, you know.
The Sun starts furiously scribbling down some notes on like
Brick
possible
bullet.
rectangular
Brick launcher?
shaped. Not
It's
even
like a
brick launcher.
It's like a 50 gold, like, industrial spring powered, like, cinder block launcher. You have to, like, crank it for like 2 minutes and then it launches it like 12 feet.
What the fuck is that weapon from Fallout that like launches nukes?
Oh,
Why can't I remember it?
Big
The Fat Man.
Fat Man, that's it. It's like,
See,
yeah.
I was thinking there's a unique weapon you can get, which is literally just like an anything cannon. It's just like it doesn't look like a t-shirt cannon. It looks like a scrap built thing, but like it just launches like teddy bears and spoons and shit from your inventory instead of ammo.
yeah, it was fun.
That's
I
pretty
think
great.
I think I used it twice, and then realized that I could just shoot someone with like a bullet and they would die.
Yeah, you use it and you're like, woo! Oh no, that's not good damage.
Yeah, you're like, haha,
Turns out hitting
bye.
someone with a teddy bear isn't really the greatest thing I could be doing.
It's also like,
Actually, now that I think about it, I think the reason I'm remembering teddy bears is because the strat for that is that you get teddy bears because they have the right like weight to
yeah,
heft to size for them to
Yeah.
be good ammo, and then there's other stuff that's garbage. So you're supposed to like clear your ammo of all scrap that isn't just like teddy bears.
yeah. See, here's the problem. When I play Fallout 4, I am building settlements and trying to reconstruct the wasteland, so I need that junk. Like, I do desperately need to drag it back to my little red workshop and turn it all into useful stuff.
Speaking of dragging you back, you guys heading off? Staying
Yeah,
in town? What's the plan?
yeah. We gotta go find this guy and like prevent him from doing stuff to us.
Yeah.
It's self-defense. Tracking a man who's locked in jail down to the express purpose of ending his life is self-defense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
All right. So you guys go back to the ship, unmoor, and start moving.
Yes, to red wine.
Okay. It is the late morning. The wind is going. The wind is going southwest.
Oh, I'm on the wrong map.
I think it's up one.
Yeah, we need to go to D6. There we go. Alright, well, that's a good direction for us to go.
All right. The wind's at your back, but you're not able to fully take advantage of things because you don't have that sail with you. You start making your way into the stormy sea, into the depths of it. You make it 2.5 squares with the wind. By now, around lunchtime, you've gone off the coast a little ways. You can still see it. You can see that it's starting to curve inward. The wind shifts to dead east.
Well, I guess we're going 90 degrees to it then. Or maybe southeast, I guess.
Yeah, well, probably south.
Yeah, probably south a little bit more would be good.
Yeah.
You tighten up your sails and keep kind of going out into the opening here. It gives you more room to maneuver through the storms. The closer you are to the coast, the closer you are to, like, fishing boats and travelers and that kind of stuff. Going south, you make it another 2.5 squares. By now, it's the early afternoon. Judging by your maps and the landforms you were able to see, plus some measurements, you reckon that you're parallel with Newtown, like your map would say here.
All right.
There's the ship itself is getting slick. You have to get a little bit of water out of the bilge every now and again, just because it's kind of misty out here. There's constant little fringes of storms everywhere. The wind starts to go southeast.
We want to go southeast, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
We definitely want to go southeast. We can take full advantage of this.
So I have a new crafting thing that I want to kind of work on while I'm doing this.
Is it a sign?
It's not a sign. I want to make bullets, and in the spooky season theme, I want to make bullets that have like holes drilled into them, so they do a screechy, screamy whistle as they're fired.
Ah.
This would
Okay.
have 0 tactical application and would make them objectively worse.
It's an intimidation factor.
I think that I could convince some adventurers that it's
Oh.
a really fun signature move.
Yeah, you know there's an adventurer who like specializes in sniping and like ambush points who would love that. Just being
Yeah.
like, it's my signature. I have these howler bullets that
Yeah.
that I fire off and they know it's me. Because I'm the
Yeah.
only adventurer dumb enough to use howler bullets.
Yeah, that's exactly like I'm gonna say, hey, if you purchase these Howler bullets, everyone will think you're really neat.
All right, give me some rolls for that.
All right. That's not how anything is spelled.
I like to think that the entire bullet is basically just a giant train whistle.
Yeah, basically. Okay, that is a 31. Oh my god, 31.
Damn. Good roll.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right, so you got to test these at least a couple times. So you got a bunch of your testers ready. You go out onto the deck of the ship. You're able to put these in, rack them up. Normally, your shotgun, you go poof, poof. Maybe you got something that sounds a little bit different. It's more of like a piff or a porf, but it's the same
Yeah.
general sound.
Yeah.
You load this thing in. What pitch are you going for? Are you going for a screamer, a howler? Is this supposed to be more of like a
Like a very human sort of pitch range. Like just a human scream, close to as it can get.
All right, so you load this thing up and you aim out just into open ocean, and it goes.
Just a Wilhelm as it dives into the ocean.
Man, that's pretty cool.
Is that good enough for you, or are you putting another one in?
I'm putting another one in. I'm gonna see if I can get it closer to something that would be like, because as I'm thinking about it, you want it to be clear that the person firing the gun isn't just also screaming as they fire it.
So you rack another one, you get the mechanism in place, aim out, and it goes.
Oh, that's it. That's the one right there.
Croco
It's
has
Wiki
no
season.
idea what the fuck you just fired, and is incredibly confused.
Yeah, that's the point.
Yeah, I guess that is the point.
Yeah, basically, like, you hear all this coming out, and then Sun coming out and going, all right, I'm going to test these new Whistler boys. And then you hear, like, just a metallic shrieking after each bullet. It, even though there was a joke initially, after they're fired, it does seem to have some tactical advantage. It's an unsettling noise.
It's a very unsettling noise.
Yeah, I think that that's what Cannonier and Sun has been missing is a real, like everyone around you knows you're firing Cannonier and Sun munitions. That's what we need.
Yeah, yeah.
So you make it 3 squares to the southeast.
Okay. So I'll just and switch it over to D7. Nope, that's the wrong one. Come. There we go. So something like this, or like
Yeah,
this?
you make your way to that island as a waypoint, and you can start navigating from there.
All
To get
right.
to where you need to go, you still have a couple of map squares to cross.
Yeah, we
By
need
now-
to head east and so
Yeah.
like we still need to head like southeast an entire map chunk.
It's the early afternoon. The wind shifts slightly again. Now it is going directly southward. You're starting to slowly grow clear of the storms. You're not fully out of it yet, but once you get closer to the edge of that horn down the bottom of the Freedlands, that's where the pattern starts to break up a little bit.
So how far did we travel for that? Or,
I just gave you a direction. Which way you going?
I mean,
It's going south.
If we
And
head,
if we go south,
yeah, okay, yeah, we can head due south. I'm always like contrarian to it because I'm like, if we keep heading south, then we're just gonna be forced to head east, and that's when the wind is gonna fuck us.
No, I see what this. Yeah, you
Yeah,
want to have your options
wind-based
open.
paranoia.
Yeah. If we
Make
hedge
it
our
two-
bets.
You
I
make
wanna
it two and
see-
a half squares to the south.
I want to see that. What's on that island?
As you make your way past, it's broadly uninhabited. There's some moss, and you can see that there is some low shrubbery, but no trees. No inhabitants either, not even a dock.
Sad.
Perfect place for a weird person to live.
A hermit, you might say?
Yeah.
All right. Continue on.
At this point, you're all getting slick. Your clothes are getting damp as you've been sailing through a big chunk of the day into the stormy sea. The light is getting a little bit lower as you go into the late afternoon. Not dark, just a little bit dimmer. Normally it would be full sun, but with the storms, as the sun gets kind of into the thick, you'll start to see it in the evening peak below the clouds, but right now it's just gray. The wind starts to shift sharply, going to the northwest.
Could you imagine going on a road trip with a bunch of D&D players, and you see like an old abandoned barn out in a field, and you point it out to them, and they go, "Barn! We gotta go investigate what's in there." And you're like, "Oh my god, it's just
I didn't mean to give
It's
you a
just a
plot
barn.
hook, god damn.
yeah, it's just a barn." They insist on going in there and looking at it.
Okay, so if
Guys, I got loot! No, you got tetanus.
Alright, so if it's heading northwest, then we either need to head south or we head east. I say east.
East.
Go east.
Alright. You tighten your sails and start to head eastward. You get a bit of choppiness here because you're doing a bit of a turn and the wind's moving against you a good deal. you make it a measly 1.5 squares to the east.
Pathetic.
I'll count that as like the edge of the next map square, so we can switch over to the next one.
Okay.
By now it's getting close to dinner time. You've
Dinner
escaped the sea of
time?
storms, so you're able to open the Genoa sail. The wind shifts to the northeast.
Alright.
Is
Is-
that red wine? No, red wine is south of White Abbey.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
Oh man.
So from here you're going like southeast, I should say.
Yeah.
Southeast.
Southeast it is.
Okay,
Oh,
the wind
alright.
is. Now that you're able to open the sail proper, you're moving a bit faster than you were in the storm, especially because you don't have to do micro adjustments or work with choppy water. You can hear Rooker cooking below, but you guys are frustrated and sailing later, especially because you haven't been sailing all day. You've only been sailing since like early to mid morning.
Yeah, we had our fancy breakfast and our pie.
Yeah, you did have a breakfast pie in addition to eggs and bacon breakfast. So you end up moving, what would that be? 2.5 squares to the southeast. Now that you're free of the storms, you can see like the horizon a little bit easier, and you can see the sign of the island that you're passing right now. Looks like there's some kind of military garrison there. Not too many ships patrolling. By now it's getting close to evening time. Lights are low to like spark the candle in the jack-o'-lantern, and it's got a little face in front of the driver.
Aw,
Skipper, I should say.
that's unsettling. Makes me feel.
It's got angry eyebrows too.
Yeah, no. If those eyebrows were like happy eyebrows, I would be loving this little friend. But he seems to hate me.
Well, I don't know. I think it's festive. And Kennedy is like, yeah, it's festive.
And after this, I can use it for target practice.
True.
I would love to see that get shot with a shotgun.
Yeah, I don't. I'm a little nervous. Crowquill and target practice, but
Crowquill just like electro summons the fork and is just like, I don't know. I'd personally be willing to see if it fucks. Sorry, forks.
Right.
yeah. Okay, I'll be far away from it when that happens.
So you guys lay down anchor for the night, have a chance to get any last minute business done. Is there anything else you want to do until morning?
I'm gonna scry one last time to see if he's still in jail.
Okay.
Go for it.
God, could you imagine? He's trapped in this jail cell. He keeps putting up wards, but they're very small because he doesn't have like the equipment necessary, and they keep getting immediately torn down, like every 4 hours on the dot.
Yeah,
That's frightening.
that's a 19. And he's just like, I found some salt. Ward up. Oh no.
No, they're gonna know I'm still in the jail.
So, like before, you get an image into this cell. Your perspective, he's looking right at it because he knows he's being scryed on, but he just doesn't have any equipment to counter this or put together some kind of ward. You hear the screeching of guards in the hallway as there's a pair of them holding hands and feet. Looks like a body, very well dressed.
Sorry, can you say that again?
A body.
2 guards are carrying a body.
Okay.
The guards, not as I originally thought, the guards were holding each other's hands and feet.
That's what I heard. I was like, wait, what's this about a body?
It's a body, and the guards are holding hands and feet.
Okay.
Well, they have their toes.
I was like, this is a very cute moment that the fucking Rooker Mariner is like witnessing.
The guards have their toes interspersed like this.
It's just a little gay toe moment.
See, I was thinking like, so one pair of feet interlocked like this, one pair of hands interlocked, and
Yeah.
then hands and feet switch. So the one guy is just grabbing the other guy's foot and vice versa. So it's like every combination is covered.
You know what?
Over
It's still adorable. Me and the boys blaring.
Oh man.
See, the secret is you have to hold toes, because if you hold hands, that violates don't ask, don't tell.
Yeah.
Right, right. The first rule of Fight Club is explore each other's bodies.
Oh my god. Okay.
Okay, so there's a very
wait, so
well dressed body that the guards are carrying through. Does it look like beat up, like stabbed? Did it take a brick to the face?
Strangled.
Strangled.
Is he still
Interesting.
in the cell?
The guy is, yeah. The body is from elsewhere.
Yeah. Okay.
The body's gone before you can get a good look, but it looks vaguely familiar.
Mm.
Oh no.
Oh
Well-
no.
A well dressed person who's vaguely familiar. That's either Anna or the like dude that we helped.
Yeah. And Anna
Or
is not.
or like the person who hired us, like the person who met us in Redwine.
It's gotta be that. Was he a senator?
Yes.
Senator Franklin.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Senator,
would be the person.
Senator Franklin. Then there was Anne, and then there was like those. These are the people that I can think of being well dressed. And then there's the dude that we met in Redwine itself at the Marinara Garden.
Right.
There was a mobster.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so in the scry, am I able to recognize it as any one of those?
It's the moment's gone.
Damn it.
Uh,
Still in jail though, so we're
All
still
right.
making progress.
Still making progress.
so it's the evening. Do you guys go to bed?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I'm going to bed.
I'll check on my wards and before heading to bed, but yeah.
Before going to bed, I'm cleaning some of the. I'm assuming there's sea grime and just in salt air. There's a bit of corrosion on Otto. I'm cleaning that off. And I'm going to bed.
All right. You spend a good bit of time like cleaning off the grime. Otto gives you a happy little whistle in response.
Yeah. I should have given you I don't know, an arm so you could do this, but well, dwarf parts are in short supply, and
Like a mechanical sort of chimney sweep that he can sort of like bring out and like throw down the barrel and like bring back.
I was thinking like a rag on a stick sort of setup.
Oh yeah, nice. Rag on a stick would be
Yeah.
good too.
Yeah, Bart Simpson rag on a stick.
When you wake up in the morning, there's a lonely military ship a little ways off from the garrison. The garrison isn't the only thing on the island. There's a couple of little fishing hamlets, but there aren't as many of these ships as there should be, and it's just kind of lazily patrolling the island. Looks like 2 masts.
Two-masted ship. Military.
Interesting.
Okay.
I mean, that's mildly concerning. I'm gonna take the morning shift with Warbles to scout and see if I can spot any additional ones.
Yeah, we should have watches, I think. Until that ship leaves.
Well, not until that ship leaves, because we can just leave. We haven't done anything. We're in the trade routes. Like this is
This is the tip of the hookway, so you're actually basically where all the ships start to cluster for the highway. You aren't there yet, but like this is where if there's a bunch of ships just like moored out, it makes sense.
like I'm not worried about him like attacking us or anything like that, but like I'm worried where the other ones are if it's unusual, especially because this is the main hookway and there's only one military vessel.
Okay, you send in warbles.
Yeah, I'll do a flutter around with warbles.
Okay, is this with ritual or is this with druid stuff?
Um, this is just with druid stuff.
Okay.
That is a 28.
28. You like brace yourself against the base of the mast for now. Just kind of like lean in and let yourself sink into senses. As Croquill is flying around to different locations, you can see that even though there are a lot of merchant ships here and there, by the island there aren't really that many. Especially the ships that are sticking around are smaller ones. There's a lot of like larger ships that you would expect to be here that aren't. Especially like this one here's a naval garrison. It's not like a big city or anything, but you'd expect there to be at least one like dreadnought parked around here.
Yeah.
Like they're not completely gone. It's just they're really low staff.
All right.
Alright.
Did a war break out and we didn't notice?
Well, that's what I'm concerned about. If there's so much shenanigans going on in fucking Redwine, that could potentially be a thing. Like that could be a possibility.
Yeah. Or maybe they have all gone to Redwine.
Like that's what I'm concerned about.
Yeah. It's not like breaking into the prison and killing him was going to be easy.
This is true.
It's also not like we were going to get paid for it.
I mean, when do we ever on vacation?
Oh, yeah. No, never mind. There's a way around it.
We're on
So-
vacation.
We'll just pay his bail.
Yeah, we'll just pay his bail and be like, fucking crewmates, am I right? Get him on board, go out to sea, push him over.
The wind is moving. You can hear Rooker starting to make breakfast as you're checking on the ropes and like the deck of the ship and all that. The wind is moving dead south.
Let's go dead south.
The dead south. Yep, that's the one.
All right. You make it 3.5 squares southward. You're able to unfurl your sails, get the most of this, and really like rocket past. Because you're going directly south, you're able to actually, even though it looks like one island, there's a channel, and there's like you take a small ferry to get onto the main island. You can pass close to the garrison, and sure enough, most of their ships are gone. There's still a few, and there's still some guards, but even like when you look at the walls, there aren't that many guards posted. It's the early morning as below decks, Rooker's got like some pork and beans ready for breakfast.
Ooh,
Pork and beans. Love that. Love that for us.
Love
The
me
wind
some
shifts
pork and
to
beans.
the northwest or northeast.
Well, we can either head east or southeast.
I mean, southeast. That's the direction we're headed, eh?
Yeah.
Now that you're free of the Sea of Storms, you're able to use the Genoa sail to still get a decent bit of like acceleration when you're moving at a taut angle with the sails. It also helps kind of like balance a little bit the amount of tension that's going on to them. You make it 3 squares to, you said the southeast?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Oh, I think that gets us to Redwine. Or
Yeah.
just about.
So, as you sail into the southeast, you can feel the wind starting to shift. It would just affect your approach to the docks, that's it. you see on the inside between the larger aisle and the smaller one, which would be the approach unless you specifically veered away from it, there is a column of smoke on the water.
Yay.
Smoke on the water.
Oh no.
Parked around the bay, a lot of them are docked and mostly emptied out. There's a bunch of dreadnoughts like set up at port, and you can see this place is swarming with guards. A number of them are like patrolling out into the waters. Some of them are actually out there like towing ships out from the docks and then lighting them on fire in the middle of the bay.
Oh,
Oh.
God.
So maybe we don't dock here.
There is a guard ship that puts up follow me flags waiting to lead you past this into port, if you so choose.
Can we put up the "nah thanks, we good"?
Yeah, the equivalent is just not changing your flags and continuing on.
Yeah.
The city isn't burning or anything. The city seems to be, if anything, locked down somewhat like steadily, but there's still like you can still see people doing their shopping and stuff like that.
I mean,
Well, I don't think we want any trouble. I think we pay this guy's bail and get him out of here.
I don't know how easy it's going to be. Look at all the destruction that is being caused because of his rioting.
Well, hear me out. I want to roll politics here to see if this tracks.
Hmm.
The jail cells are probably full to bursting right now. They probably are looking to get rid of people. If we come by and say, hey,
We'll give you money for this guy.
we'll give you money for this guy, you know, you can put him into our custody.
Ooh, idea. I'll make a
That's
fake
a-
bounty for this guy.
That's a 7.
I'll
in
make up a
politics.
fake bounty that he's wanted in Riverbend, and that we're bounty hunters.
Okay, so with a 7 politics, this guy's a rat folk in Redwine Keep. If they need to empty the cells that badly, they're not accepting money. They're taking him to the docks and firing a shot and kicking him into the water. If you
Okay.
show up as bounty hunters, that is probably your only way of getting him out alive, except for like literally just infiltrating the prison.
Okay, bounty hunt.
I think we go bounty hunting.
Yeah, bounty hunting.
Yeah.
All right. So that's a lot to put down. So I think this is where we cut it, with you guys kind of like listlessly going like, what the fuck do we do? Moving away from like a bunch of burning ships in the bay in front of Redwine Keep. If you guys want to check out the stuff that led to this, because this was unlike the last campaign where you guys had a through line where it was gathering a big snowball plot, and near the end you had a big thing that was all snow and it was just like whomp. Like the whole gimmick of the last session was, how do you even end this? We're going to give you a couple of options, and it's like some conspiracy shit.
Yeah.
This one's the opposite, where it's like you guys have just taken things and then go, okay, we don't need this anymore.
Well, thanks.
And then as you guys are coming back to this sea, you're seeing all of your things still on the ground.
Will's just like, how about this plot hook? How about this plot hook? How about this
Yeah.
plot hook? And we're like, now let's go on vacation.
Yeah.
And then we
That's
come back
hard.
and what do you know? The problems still haven't resolved themselves.
Oh, Bean.
I mean, it works
Not our
really well
problem.
for Sailor Plot.
it's
So-
yeah.
Yeah, we are here Wednesdays at twitch.tv/Croden_live. We don't make it every week because, life happens, but we're doing our best.
Yep.
If you want to watch the back episodes, that's at youtube.com/Mr. Croden. And if you want to check out the most recent available rule set for this game, that's going to be at bloodwine.fandom.com. If I remember correctly, we're starting Psychonauts 2 on Saturday, aren't we?
Yes. And I have more Temtem tomorrow and more Mass Effect on Friday.
We got Temtem, we got Mass Effect, we got Psychonauts.
Honestly, it's a fucking time to be alive for streaming.
Actually, yeah, that's just kind of a marathon. We got tonight, we got tomorrow, we got the day after, we got the day after. It's a busy
I
time
know.
to be on this channel.
Mhm.
I know.
Single bead of sweat makes its way down Ken's forehead.
But I'm loving it, so it's gonna be great.
Yeah, so I look forward to it. See you guys then.
Bye, everybody.